Alrighty, welcome back to the Outer Worlds. I've had my break. Now I'm ready to continue on. Let me actually adjust some stuff here. I changed my mouse settings recently, so I might need to raise this up a little bit more. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to be plundering about a little bit. This is the problem with playing mouse and keyboard. It's very easy to, oh
I gotta
gosh.
sign you in.
No, you don't have to, you don't really need me to say anything. But yeah, when you swap between different games, it can be real easy to, have to get used to controls all over again every single time.
Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
Well, that is my ship on the landing pad right next to you.
I knew it. See, I made what you'd call a logical deduction. You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off.
Right, well, what are they doing out there?
You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic. Us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes.
Oh god.
On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna and halcyon. Please state your name for the records.
Well, I'll give him the real name. We're done with the Alex Hawthorne bit. Captain GaLm.
Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill.
Cool. Alright, well, is Stellar Blade really that isolated?
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago.
Right. Well, I'm gonna have a look around town.
Mr. Sandra will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor?
Oh, Jesus, kid. You want me to do double the favors? What?
I got this Rizzo's Rangers tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
Okay, well, who's the Black Hole?
That's Bertie Holcomb. Only one of the greatest tossball hackers ever.
I wonder if he's kin. Dad had family that worked for Rizzo's. I never got to meet them.
Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. You been living in a sulfur pit or something?
Well, listen, I've been in hibernation for decades.
Oh, you're real funny. Guess I don't feel so bad for missing what goes on in the rest of Stellar Bay.
Look, alright. So this poster sounds really valuable.
I couldn't really say, I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the less valuable they are. And I figure my poster's been passed around by more than a few people by now.
Right, dude. Well, I guess we'll check this out.
Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
Cool. Well, I mean, I'm probably gonna just take a casual look around. We'll see. 5 armor rating. Yeah, we don't care about that too much. I wonder if we're gonna find Mark II versions of other armors. Let's not this far. Oh wait, that was a plasma rifle too. Well, that's awkward. I need to be a slight bit more careful. There are some things I'm wanting to keep around. Because I need to give my companions some extra weapons. I think we're good on weapons right now. Assault Rifle Ultra, Hunting Rifle Ultra, Sawed-Off Shotgun Mark II, and then Salvager's Helper. This might be the only thing I might get rid of. Do I need anything else? Ooh, ranged weapon spread 25%. Ranged weapon sway 80%. Intriguing. I don't think we have a mod like that. I think we have like a worse version of it. This is fine. This is fine. The Yacht Club. Well, it's always good to have a good stop in here, and there's Yoka. Hey there.
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger.
Thanks.
Enjoy.
Hey,
If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
I could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you?
How well do you know Nyoka?
Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka. On account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you?
Hey, I killed a lot of things out there. So, why is this place called the Yacht Club?
Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all.
True. Are there any yachts in Stellar Bay?
Nope. But a man can dream.
Right. Well, I'm gonna see what we have. Nothing. Okay, goodbye.
Ah, the charmer. Welcome back. Drink, chat, or business? All of the above?
Never mind. All right, I need to look through my journal because I'm kind of forgetting what we're here for. Okay, so we got to get her medicine from the MSI dispensary. Search for clues around here, although not in this area. There's the Grim Tomorrow for the poster. And then we need to investigate the left field tossball betting because somebody got murdered. Got you. Where can I get some of these ingredients for Parvati though? That's our big thing.
We don't get many outsiders. You don't look like Sublight. Must be freelance.
What do you say? Right. What is this? That's intimidating to look at. Is this the MSI building?
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Well, hello there.
Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries, producers and purveyors of the finest salt tuna in Halcyon. What can I do for you today?
Well... Wait, what? What was that exchange about? You having money trouble? I didn't hear their conversation.
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience with such.
Oh, Parvati.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid.
Why? Do you normally blow your money on Raptidon parts?
Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really.
What? Why? If you've got that many bits to spend, then I've got some trash to sell you. Oh my gosh. No. Why are you buying so much for Sebastian?
So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
A squish.
He's sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell.
Okay, well, just ask him on a date.
I couldn't. What if he says no?
Then you don't get to date him.
Hey, maybe you could ask him for me. I mean, a no would still be bad, but it won't be quite as embarrassing if you ask. Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real slowly. I'd better get back to work.
Okay, all right. What are you seeing, Sebastian?
He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises.
Good to have standards, I guess.
I know what I'm looking for.
Right. Well, you really want to be with someone you can't talk to?
You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny.
There are other fish in the sea, Celia.
Not in Stellar Bay. Everyone else who isn't taken either smells like salt tuna or they're my boss. Besides, a man with a good smile and a proportionate upper to lower body ratio isn't something to pass up.
Right, okay, well, thanks for all that. I guess I'll help you out.
Sorry, sometimes I get carried away.
I'll talk to you later.
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? What did he say?
I haven't talked to him yet. I just wanted to talk to you about this tossball poster.
You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering me about it a week ago. I still don't know anything about it, but if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grimm wore her patience thin a long time ago.
That's okay. I am a charming person. We can talk people down from their annoyance.
I hope you being here means the board is loosening their restrictions.
I hope your being here means the board is loosening their restrictions.
Oh, I get to do this.
Here to do business with Sanjar?
If you leave town,
Damn.
watch out for iconoclasts. They're almost as bad as the Raps.
I was hoping I'd get them to repeat the same lines over and over and over again. Hello, Sanjar.
New business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
I wouldn't call this a meeting, but you have a meeting with me. Whoa.
You'd be a hit in Byzantium.
Did you hear that power play, Celia? They don't make them like this anymore in Halcyon. I only hope you don't judge me by my handshake. Now, what business brings you here?
Alright, we gotta keep this up. I'm looking for the information broker.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna.
No. It could always be both. If I have to eat one more weird science project passed off as food in this sprat-fucked colony, I'm going to stab someone. Holy shit, that one's intense. Look, hey, it could always be both.
Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments.
What?
I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
Well, if you're free of the other corporations, why would you want to bring them back?
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
Right. Well, And you're tired of scrounging and scraping by, is that it? I think that one.
Yes,
the best fit.
freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Okay, all right. So what do you want to do about it?
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Oh, that's good.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
Right. This lady knows what's going on.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
Okay, and how long did it take you to figure out that you need to defend your city? Oh, jeez, no. What do you want to do?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course.
What?
If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Okay, what the heck is a Bolt 52, though?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy could be this interesting.
It is quite the rush.
Okay. Where do I find one?
In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. These days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
There's a chance I might have passed by it. Why are you saying it that way?
Saying what? Which way?
Perception arms. You're saying arms instead of arms.
That's just what it's called. It's supposed to stand for something, but I forget what.
Sure, I'll know when I find it.
Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Right. Well, before you go,
What
let's
can
see if
I
you have
do for
anything
you?
else that I can talk about. I met Grim, the landing pad guard.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
Can I throw him under the table? That guy's a world-class moron. Oh, no. He did a bang-up job.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
I want to ask about MSI, the
Then
good
it's
old
good that I keep
days.
such meticulous notes.
So, what's the hazard clause?
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments.
Right. It seems like a sensible restriction, actually. No. And they've invoked it on Monarch?
Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes.
What?
Rather hard to run a business that way.
Okay, well... How did MSI get kicked off the board in the first place?
I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
Okay, wait. Do you mean that you initiated your own removal from the board?
Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2, but back then it was known as Terra 1.
Wait. Terra 1 and Terra 2, I see the board put their best people on that one.
Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them Earth-like.
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
But not MSI, right?
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
Oh. Okay. Reforms are for quitters, Sanjar. Holy shit. No. How forth they give you?
It's humane. But it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right, because it's the right thing to do.
Like that's what you saw in Edgewater? Come on. People look out for themselves.
Ladies, please.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
Right, and let me guess. I take it your leadership didn't embrace your ideas.
No, they laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2, along with everyone else.
Well, yeah, here you are.
Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI.
Must have pissed off some real big suits to get stuck with that.
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of top MSI officials before I was able to achieve this position. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
Right. But why would they do that?
I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
Well, I mean, the board is pretty bad from everything we've seen so far. Why exactly do you want to be back on the board?
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
If you can't beat him, might as well join him and reach into their pockets.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation.
Right. Well, I can't fault you for your practicality.
Indeed. We've got to consider realities, not ideals. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Leverage?
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes. It'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
I would like that, honestly. Yeah, no, I like what you're selling, Sanjar.
What can I do for you?
A corporation actually being decent and then trying to get all the other corporations to be better too? Sounds useful. Alright, hold on. We're gonna sell some of these things. Don't need this. Don't need this many. I'm trying to even up some of the weight limits we have here. Stealth skills. We'll sell this because we already have 2 stealth skill ones. Sneak +7. Ooh. This 35 armor one's nice. This can go away. I don't even know what I'm currently wearing right now. What do I have? Heavy, one-handed melee. Ah. Oh no. Wait. Here it is. I was worried I'd gotten rid of this by accident. I don't remember exactly what path I was going on in terms of like upgrading. But we're gonna make things work. Okay. So he wants me to go... Where? He said southwest, which might be over here-ish, but we're not worried about that right now. We're gonna actually do... We're gonna find this Sebastian guy. Flowers for Sebastian. Ask Sebastian on a date for Celia. Oh, there he is. Hello there, Sebastian.
Hello, stranger. can I interest you in a raptidon tongue? Or maybe some canid toenails? You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal parts?
I'm not at all. Look, why would I want any of that?
I don't know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I thought maybe I was onto something.
Mr. Pickett? Franklin Pickett from Edgewater?
That's him. He'd been here years, but he always talked about going back to Edgewater one day.
Huh. Roddy, you know who he's talking about?
Sure. Mr. Pickett used to run the community center outside Edgewater. He had this grand idea to make it a museum for halcyon life.
Ah.
As my dad told it, Mr. Pickett was always going on about getting a manta queen for the last display. He left the Vale, gosh, years ago.
He came to Stellar Bay years ago, just before the board cut us off. Ended up stuck here. He was always real interested in our monsters. Manta queens, especially.
Okay. Well, have you seen a manta queen?
Sure. They're real big. Hard to miss them.
I know, I've killed a bunch of them. Where have you seen a manta queen?
Well, I could send you to the same place I sent Mr. Pickett. But I haven't seen him in a few weeks. To tell true, I'm starting to get a bit worried about him.
Captain, can we look for him? I'd feel awful if somebody from home was in trouble and we didn't do nothing.
Tell you what, I'll tell you where I sent Mr. Pickett if you promise to look for him. Help him out if he's got himself in trouble. Fair deal?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right then. Leave town through the southern gate, the one right here, and head past the abandoned ruins. Last Mana Queen I saw was in the wilds out that-a-ways. Could be Mr. Pickett still out there too.
I'll keep an eye out. So, hold on. Let's talk about Celia.
Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days, but I've been meaning to ask her how that Raptidon acid is working out. I hope it's working okay, because no one else really seems interested in this stuff.
Well, would you consider going on a date with her?
Wait, I see what's going on. She put you up to this so she could get a discount, hmm?
Oh, no, that's not it at all. She's smitten with you. You smited her. Smote? Smoot?
Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. Always talks nice and slow so I understand. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no one else having any use for Raptidon tongues.
Look, buddy, gosh, alright. Consider this a 678-bit advance against lost business? Oh my god, no, we're gonna use Persuade. Don't take my word for it. Spend time with her. I promise you won't ask for a discount.
You sound pretty sure. And she is awful nice.
Give her a chance. Give yourself a chance. Take her someplace nice.
Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift ends, we'll go someplace nice. Maybe to Chef Raymond's.
That's the spirit, Sebastian. Be yourself. Between you and me, Captain, I'm not sure Miss Celia knows him too well, but we can hope, right? I want them to be happy.
Yeah. No, they're definitely, This lady has me worried over here. Yeah. She doesn't seem to have actually invested that much time in learning about him. She's like, oh, he's the strong, silent type. This is going to be really interesting. I want to date him. And then we're going to find out soon enough that she actually hates him entirely.
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? What did he say?
Well, he said he'll go on a date with you.
Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound excited? Or like he was just agreeing to it? Was he like, yay, a date with Celia? I've secretly been waiting for this. Or was it more, sure, I don't have anything else going on?
All I know is that if you act this crazy, you'll send him running. No. He likes you, Celia. Just don't ask for any discounts.
Not to worry. If I never buy another Raptidon tongue, it'll be too soon. Look at me going on. I'm sure you've got other things to do, and Mr. Nandi's giving me that back-to-work look. Anyhow, thank you.
She gave me money for it. Nice! That's how you do it, Nandi. Real business is making people happy. Okay. What's going on with this Agnes lady?
Please, will someone help me? My boy's in trouble. Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak.
No, no.
It's more dissolving than melting.
That is not helpful.
Yeah, it's not. All right. Okay, look. Calm down, take a deep breath, and then tell me what happened.
Don't you tell me to calm down. I promised my boy I'd protect him for always. But how can I keep him safe if he's run away? He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the raptidons, mantisaurs, and marauders, the toxic sulfur pools, and poisonous plants, but he didn't listen.
Oh, law, Captain. A youngster won't last long in a place like this. Please, can't we help?
That was the idea.
Please, won't you go and find my boy?
Let's see. Why would Tucker run away?
He's been pining for an adventure. Says he's tired of living cooped up behind the walls. But he doesn't understand how dangerous it is out there. I warned him. A raptidon would snap him up first chance it got. I just know one's ripped his arm off and is gnawing on his sweet little fingers. He should have listened to his mama. I promised I'd keep him safe here with me.
Oh, Agnes. Listen, look, all right. Where would he have gone?
He's been listening to those awful broadcasts that the iconoclasts put out. I begged Sanjar to put a stop to them, but did he? No! And now I just know my boy's run off to Amber Heights. That is, if a manta queen hasn't spooled out and eaten his entrails for breakfast already.
Lady, you are seeing like the worst constantly. Gosh. Where's Amber Heights?
That old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. I don't know which is worse, the thought of my son shacking up with them nutty iconoclasts, or that he never made it. Sprats could be nesting in his rotting body alongside the road as we speak.
Lord almighty, lady.
Or maybe marauders got him, pulled all his teeth out, crushed him into their drugs and made him snort them. Oh, the things that could happen to my sweet baby.
Agnes, maybe he ran away because you fill his idea with crazy things happening all the time. Hey. All right, so what were we saying about the iconoclasts?
Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make it sound so exciting, like it's noble to risk it all out there, fighting for the greater good. How noble is it to worry your loved ones? Not at all, I say. But still they preach their sermons of anarchy and rebellion to anyone who'll listen. If they weren't holed up in Amber Heights, I'd knock them all upside the head.
I wonder if I've been fighting them. I killed a bunch of marauders on the way here. Anyways, yeah, I'll help you.
Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able to fetch him home. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouths. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
Right. Well, I'll take a gander, but first I'm going to keep on looking around town. Demo, thank you for a Twitch Prime sub, and I think we had someone sub a while back. Mr. Mutant refreshed their sub. Thank you to him. Okay. Going back here to look at my evil deeds. The answer was no. See, at this point, I'm pretty darn sure that there is no negative consequence of stealing as long as nobody sees it, which is fantastic.
You take real good care of your pistol, Dr. Fenhill.
I oughta. It's kept me alive this long.
I mean, you treat it nice. Makes me happy to see, because I feel the same way about my wrench.
Look, it's a tool that does a job. Feelings got nothing to do with it.
They're just polar opposites. I love it. So, hold on now.